My name is Valerie Hanlon, and I currently reside in the thriving metropolis of Pierceland, Saskatchewan, population 1,050. The village of Pierceland is located 16 kilometers from the Alberta border and is a 20-minute drive from the city of Cold Lake. As a resident of Pierceland, Saskatchewan, who's employed at Cold Lake, Alberta, I spend part of my year during daylight savings time living in one time zone and working in another. This can get somewhat confusing, especially if you need to run to the general store for something and forget about the time change. There are many advantages to living in a small town. Neighbors watch out for each other, and the shop owners know you by name. Believe it or not, our general store employees actually allow people to call them when they are closed if they need something, and they'll run down and open the store and even let you charge your purchase. Our post office is one of the very few that are open on Saturday mornings to cater to those residents who work in Cold Lake and are unable to make it to pick up their parcels during the week. One very noticeable disadvantage to living in Pierceland is the price of gasoline. It is currently $1.35 per litre in Pierceland, and in Cold Lake it's $1.18. Quite a difference considering they are only a few kilometers apart. Rather than just tell you about Pierceland, I thought it might be fun to take you for a tour of the main street. Just be sure not to blink, because you might just miss it. Pause. We're going to start our tour in front of the most popular place in town, the only restaurant, the Pierce Cafe. This is a very busy spot on weekday mornings, as most of the local farmers, get together for coffee before starting their workday. They also serve some of the best Chinese food in the area, and people drive to Pierceland from Cold Lake to enjoy it. Next to the cafe is Rollick's store. We'll pause for a moment. Okay.
Go.
Rollick's caters to the residents of Pierceland as well as those living in the nearby Big Island Lake Cree Nation. If there's anything that you're looking for, chances are you're going to find it in Rollick's. It is the true small town general store. Okay, here we have the New Do, which is a new beauty shop in town. It's very convenient to be able to get your hair done in Pierceland without driving to Cold Lake, and the prices are much, much more reasonable. Next to it is the gift shop called Uptown Treasures. They specialize in true country decor. Pierceland also has its own small town library. It's not open quite as often as the one in the cities, but it does offer books and books on tapes, magazines, etc., and a good place for the kids in town to go and do crafts. Next to it we have Pierceland Agencies, which specializes in insurance for your home and auto, which is very important. And now we're going to cross the street. Here we have the Pierceland Post Office, which is a little different from most post offices in that they're open on Saturday mornings to cater to the people who work in Cold Lake and were unable to make it here to check our mail. Most especially during daylight savings time, when you work until 4 o'clock, which in Saskatchewan is 5 o'clock, which is when the post office closes. So it's a very wonderful thing that they do extra customer service for those people that work in Cold Lake. Beside the post office is the little municipality of Beaver River. To be totally honest, I'm not sure what they do here, but it is some kind of local government building. The largest building in town, believe it or not, is K2 Plumbing and Heating. It would appear that the office is never open. It says by appointment only, but obviously there must be a need for a lot of equipment in there, or else the building wouldn't be quite so big. And here we have the Pierceland Village office. This is a wonderful place to go, actually. I have had a problem this spring with my water freezing, and I went in here and got to sit down in the back room and have coffee with the village maintenance man, and we came up with a solution to solve the problem of me still not having water until probably the end of May. This is also where you would go to pay your property taxes, your water bill, and just go and visit. They're a wonderful bunch of people. Next door we have the Pierceland Credit Union. I can't say that I'm a member myself. I do bank in Cold Lake since I work there, but I've heard many good things about the credit union. They're very good at sponsoring community events. Quite obviously, this is the RE/MAX office for the village of Pierceland. Up until a short time ago, you had to get in touch with a real estate agent in Meadow Lake, which is located approximately an hour and a half from here, in order to deal with the real estate agent. So it is very good that they finally opened their own office here in town. Behind me is the general bar, or the local bar in town. And just behind it is the one and only motel. It's rather rustic. It has probably 4 to 6 rooms total. And I would say it's usually used by local tradesmen who are coming into the area to work in the oil field or in the building industry. Across the road is the former McClellan General Store. And there was a time when I got there before they closed, and it was more of a general store than I've ever seen in my entire life. If you wanted horse tack, saddles, groceries, you name it, they had it. Unfortunately, they've closed, but now the building is being repurposed. For a short time, it was a flower shop, and now it's a haunted house. It's a huge fundraiser for the local children's sports teams. People have been known to come for miles around just to go in and check out this haunted house. It's been said that 18-year-olds have left the building in tears. I myself am afraid of the dark and anything scary, so I can't say that I've actually gone in to see it myself. But according to my daughter, it is definitely worth the money if you like that kind of thing. Just to wind up, Pierceland is known as the western gateway to the Meadow Lake Provincial Park. As you've seen, it has a variety of businesses and services, as well as endless recreational opportunities. Whether you like to fish, hunt, camp, golf, or just sit back and enjoy the scenery and wildlife, this area has it all. I would have taken you for a tour of the park, but unfortunately, weather conditions have been rather inclement, and you would need a 4x4 to get to see anything. I hope you've enjoyed my tour of Pierceland, and I hope you have the opportunity to visit it in person someday. And if you do, be sure to stop by for coffee and say hi.